One of the hottest topics right now is the coronavirus. So I have to ask you, how has this impacted Logistics Plus and its customers?
Coronavirus had a tremendous impact on our business, on global business, and just overall on the economy as well, in the global economy. And what kind of started out with as a kind of a small disruption is now growing into a bigger and bigger and bigger global disruption with no end in sight. And it's been extremely difficult to predict its path. It's been extremely difficult to predict how it will affect capacity. It's been, very, very sort of reactive, as there seemed to be a few weeks back. The Chinese government mostly had the virus under control. And it looked like it might not reach the level of the pandemic that everyone was fearing about. And just over the last week or so, there has been some major changes. 50 different countries have reported some type of a virus in, specifically in those countries. Some of them cannot specifically trace the origin of the virus. And what it does, it's, the biggest, area that it affects is global supply chain. And, it affects capacity. A lot of the airlines are canceling flights. A lot of countries are closing borders. And the nature of the global economy is that a lot of the big manufacturers worldwide and in the United States, they run just-in-time inventory, and they are simply running out of products and running out of parts. And, because of the closing of entire provinces in China, and because there is, quarantine for, a lot of the drivers and a lot of the rural areas, the effects are tremendous. And some of our largest, Fortune 50 companies and manufacturers are severely impacted by that. And it's not like it's easy for them to either shift manufacturing, or it's not like it's very easy for them to just, adjust on the fly. A lot of these companies have very precise and very complex manufacturing and entire supply chain. So a disruption such as this, they're prepared to withstand, let's say, 2, 3, 4 weeks of delays at the most. Now that it's dragging on longer and longer with no end in sight, there is potential severe complications to their supply chains and, certain, large consequences to them, financially. To be honest with you, I think right now the biggest issue is that nobody really knows. There is even the so-called experts. A lot of the the points that they're making are either speculations or kind of best guesses. But there's been a lot of, kind of conflicting information. But I think that now majority of the world is coming to a realization that this is not going to be easily contained, and it will impact, the world and supply chain and manufacturing over the next few months. We want to be very proactive. We want to make sure that we are advising our customers. We want to make sure that we are planning on contingency plans. We want to make sure that we are reserving capacity in advance. And we want to make sure that we are not reactive to say, okay, now it's ready to ship and there's, nothing available. We want to make sure that we kind of, stay on top of this and kind of, come up with plans and come up with a proper, procedures to, as soon as the restrictions are lifted, that our customers can benefit the most from, having that pre-reserved capacity and having the ability to get their parts into their manufacturing facilities as quickly as possible.